The next step here is laying out your side supports. I've got a scrap piece of 2x4 that is from the bottom to the top of the top back panel. I'm about 1/8 of an inch long, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. Trim it down to my 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to rip it down into 1-inch strips on the table saw. And I should get 3 strips. I'm going to use 1 strip here, 1 strip on the other side, and the rest is just going to be stock 1.5 by 1.5 by 1 inch that I could use for hanging out the rest. But this piece of scrap, it is perfect for this particular use here. I'm starting to assemble the back, and I just had a casualty. It's really nice to have 2 guns set up for 2 different size nails, if that's what the project calls for, which I'm using 5/8 in this gun, 1.25 inches in this gun. Man, I thought this gun was absolutely great. Until now, I just had I think the plunger, seal on the plunger just broke, so. No more for that gun. Gotta love the Hitachi. This thing's lasted a long time, but anyway, what I did is I got that other piece mounted on the back. Just mounted this one on the back, just finished it. It's all glued. The reason why his design works so good with this 1/4 inch ply is there's a lot of surface area to glue on these pine frame pieces. But anyway, I've got this one installed. I'm going to set the side in and then set this other side in. Like I said, a lot of glue area and then a lot of sideways glue area over here. So the side panel is going to be attached really secure to the rest of the frame. So I'm going to get that done and see what happens next. Alright, so I've got a good amount of glue spread not only all over the side of this pine piece, all over the back of here, and all over me. So I'm just going to set the side piece in place, and this thing is starting to take shape. This thing should, once I align everything, it should square itself. Alright, everything looks lined up. I'm going to go ahead and tack it in place. Alright, I got both sides on, the back and the base. Now I'm working on the top piece. Most of these plywood edges are covered up by a rabbet on your dimensional pine. And I really do not want to set up the dado head cutter in my table saw because I do not have a 0 clearance insert for it right now. But to do this on all end grain pieces, what I'm doing, I've got my sled in here, and this edge is 0 clearance. That's where the blade's going to be. So push it a little bit further than what it should be. I'm using a piece of scrap of the same stock, and then I'll just back it up until these feel flush. Just the touch of these, your fingertips are incredibly accurate at detecting, a 1/1000th of an inch or whatever. So once they're flush to my liking, I will run my first cut through, and then I will start from the back side and nibble my way up to my original cut. And that'll give me a perfect rabbet every single time for the end grain. Alright, I'm starting to work on hiding some of these pieces of end grain on the plywood panels. I took this piece and cut it the overall width of the side piece to the other side piece outside the outside. And then I cut in a little rabbet, so it'll slide inside here and cover this outside. And then also, lengthwise, I cut a rabbet as well so that this surface right here will be flush with this surface right here with the rabbet sticking out. And that is so the top panel can sit in place and the end grain of the top panel will be hidden by this right here. So I've got, let's see, it's going to end up something like this. Let me tighten this down a little bit, pull them together. Once I tighten all this up, this panel will be hidden by this rabbet. I will have a little tray for the top to sit in, and then I will also, this other piece over here is going to wrap all this together. So we'll be good to go. With this top piece installed, it's time to finish off the frame for the lid, or for the top piece. And because of this rabbet here, the top is going to sit in place and you won't be able to see the end grain from the front. To stop the end grain from being visible from the side, I've cut this piece to fit inside there with the same tray or same rabbet amount. So the top piece will slide in here. This pine will cover up not only the end grains from the top panel, but it will also cover up the end grain from the side panel. This was a pretty interesting cut, actually. I had to cut a large rabbet right here for it to slide inside this rail. Same with the bottom for it to slide inside right there. So it'll slide in like so. Cut this rabbet so it'll cover up the side panel, and where my thumb's at, I cut that rabbet so it'll cover up the top piece. So all in all, it just sits in place like so. I'll have to glue it and tack it in place, and same for this side. Glue it and tack it in place. Same exact setup. So a little bit of tricky joinery right there. Not really tricky, just a couple different rabbets on the same board makes it look interesting. I'm going to get that in place. I'm going to put a backer board right here, just a little piece of pine for the top piece to secure to. Other than that, I'm pretty much going to, from here on out, follow John's design on how to make the inside of it. So I've got about 2 hours in this project, and hopefully I can finish up today. I've got a bunch of glue smeared all over this tray where the top piece sits. And I've got the top piece cut out. So I'm just going to put it in place. And as it fits in there, you can see all the end grain will be completely covered. But I'm going to get this installed, tacked into place, and then I'll be starting in on the interior frame.